Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Who to send me and peace out to the rest of you. The blackest hearted, blackest minded, blackest man on social media signing black in and shining again, asking you to hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. So let me first give a shout out to Fresh and Fit podcast. The Fresh and Fit podcast has been a big help. They put out a video, or they uploaded a video recently entitled, "If She Withholds S''X, Kick Her Out Immediately," or kick her to the curb immediately. I'm going to say this about that video. First thing is first, to my son. You've recently chosen to engage one of these misandrous feminists in a debate. And I'm telling you that I'm very proud of you, and I'm glad that you did it as balanced as you did it. You did not fly into a rage. You did not go straight to insults. You only used one, which was very light. You know, when you say get bit, that's not really bad at all. That was after several insults to you. But the main thing is that you remained logical. There was no point in which you gave up your logic. And you also didn't let that take away your time from learning other things. You went straight to other things you needed to do after that was done. And that was smart, son. And I'm glad that you did that. That was smart. I'm proud of you. I want you to keep in mind that as you move forward and learn skills and eventually pick your full-time career, picking your full-time career, son, is going to be a pretty, well, anyway, if you pick mine, you do get extra time. But you want to pick one in which you have time for a hobby. Now, if you want to make this your hobby, you can. I don't recommend it as a hobby per se, but if this is a hobby and a cause for you like it is for your old man, that's fine. But you did the right thing by early on saying, I'm not going to let this take time away from the more constructive things. Now, you've made your old man proud from an ocean and a continent away. I'm working on a surprise. I've already ordered it, and I still have the address that you gave, and so it should be sent there. I don't know how long it's going to take. Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take for it because the shipment's going to come in from Germany. It's going to go to you from Germany. So I'm not sure about how long that delivery time is going to be. In any case, son, you've done well so far. Keep it up. I mean, you've done well with this. Now, to the rest of the audience, I want to say this regarding this withholding the draws. The first thing to understand is that when you encounter someone that wants to withhold them draws, I'm not going to tell you to fornicate. I'm not going to condone it, let alone normalize it, let alone endorse it for you. But understand that if you come across, if you're in a discussion with someone and that person wants to withhold and it's not for religious reasons, ditch the witch, because all she's really doing is insulting you. Equally, if you are a religious person, which is even better, make sure that you do not tolerate such. And not only that, if you were in a discussion, but you are religious and you're not trying to fornicate, you're still in the discussion stage, do not let her stress abstinence and chastity to you. Like, we're not doing nothing until we get married. Do not let her stress that. Matter of fact, if she mentions it, that should be the end of the discussion. And you could, if she says you must have had a problem, you could say, no, it's not the rule I got a problem with. It's your power tripping. I'm just saying, I ain't power tripping. No, you were. I know you were power tripping because, see, I didn't mention that. This was understood. I just assumed. What's going on is you set up and you've made a decision that you're going to say, I'm just reminding you like I forgot. No, ain't nobody forgot. You just wanted to stress that because you want to set the tone for you saying no after the marriage. Now, this is a rough assumption to make, but you have to make it because that's the context in which we're living. You gentlemen in the West must understand that the ultimate goal of the Wicked Witch of the West is the dual mating strategy. And many ladies that are religious still have that same goal. And I don't want you to get that twisted. What they want to do is to take the DNA from whom they want and then take the resources from whom else they want to take the resources. See, the only man they want is the one whose DNA they want. Anyone else are just men whose resources they are willing to use and utilize, but not the men they actually want. And so you must keep in mind that that's what's out there waiting on you. And they don't feel any guilt about this in the West. And so even when you are dealing with the religious one, if she is Western or Westernized, this is the goal. Get the DNA she wants and then raise that DNA at another man's expense. We do not hate the children of these experiences. We do not hate the children of such ladies because they did not choose their conception any more than we chose ours. They did not choose their births or anything else. They are also victims in this, but we must keep in mind that they are not our responsibility. All you have to do is say to the Wicked Witch of the West that you want to be with someone that is that has about the same SMV as you have, and raise your own seed and watch how they fight you tooth and nail. They're going to hate you just for that. And so you're going to have to understand that even when they're religious, even if they wear the niqab, brothers, you're going to have to be, if she's raised in the West, you're going to have to be careful. As a matter of fact, if you're going to deal with a Western woman like that, even a religious one, sometimes especially, but definitely even a religious one, you're going to have to prepare for the worst. I'm going to give credit to the Hebrew Israelites for something, because as biased as I am in favor of my own religion personally, because I believe it is the true revelation, I will give credit, behaviorally speaking, to the Hebrew Israelites, because I don't hear about this happening in their communities yet. I'm not saying a woman don't have the instinct or the concern. Maybe it's not an instinct. I don't know. I don't care. They may have the concern. It may be something they fight against. I don't care. The point is that they have not yet complained about the women in their communities trying to do this, or let alone insisting upon it. However, I'm also going to stress this too. Gentlemen, at the very first hint, once married, because see, that discussion that they had on the Fresh and Fit podcast for a half hour is equally, if not more relevant in the context of a marriage. At the first hint of this, you stop protecting and you stop providing. And you bounce. Now, there are legitimate and valid excuses, but the way you can usually tell an excuse is valid is that it's equally valid coming from you as it is coming from her. If it's not, bounce. Gone. First offense. Or better yet, what you can do is this. First time you hear something like that and it's not really a good binding excuse, that's fine. The next time you make an excuse that's not any better than the one you got. If you just want to run an experiment. But then after that, you can try to go back to normal, tit for tat, if you want to, as an experiment. But then you should be willing to get on here anonymously and say what the results were. Now, best thing, if you're not going to do what I just said, share the results of your experiment, the best thing to do is not experiment, but to bounce. Understand that generally speaking, wives will do this when they've had the children that they want to have, whether the kids are yours or someone else's and they're your stepkids, whatever the case is. Understand that's when they usually do it. So you must keep in mind, if you want to do your kids or even your stepkids a favor, you want to bounce on her when she does this, and here's the reason. You do not want the children, boys or girls, to get the false impression from their mom that this stuff works and that it's okay or that it works. And we all got to be on code about this. Now, we can be on code that that's not okay, but we also got to be on code to make sure that does not work. That the message gets out there, because number one, withholding them draws, that's something you can do too. Because remember, them draws, that's a mutual exchange anyway. But you're still expected to provide and protect without being provided for or protected. Those are not mutual exchanges. Those are one way. Her obedience is also one way, but in the opposite direction. And understand, she's not going to respect you enough to obey you if she can withhold them draws from you while you are protecting and providing. So you simply stop protecting and providing right off the bat. Now, provision, that's only going to take about a week for her to figure that out. Protection, it takes a lot longer because as soon as there is a threat and you decide not to step up as a protector, it becomes clear you're not protecting. You're going to lose her that hour. Provision could take a week, but you do not do it. And then as soon as they bring up either one, the protection or the provision, whichever one they notice first, usually it will be protection. I mean, it'll be provision because of the rarity with which you have to actually physically protect outside of the routine. Whatever the case is, as soon as they bring up either one, you say to them, what about them draws? And since I had to call you on it, now you can't even offer that in exchange because I had to say something first. I don't want someone that doesn't want my draws. End of story. Obviously, you don't like my junk, and you didn't say anything about what I could have done to improve it or any extra need you, and you didn't say anything like that. You just acted like you didn't want my junk. Fair enough, fine. You don't want it, you don't get it, and that means you don't get anything else either. Ain't no halfway with this. You didn't try to find me somebody else, another co-wife or nothing like that. You bounce on them. And this way the children cannot learn from her unless she is a liar. She can never teach them this false lesson that it works. Never. Because right now what they're learning from each other is that it works. Withhold and you get what you want. And of course, when they lose respect for you, then they want to withhold because they just don't want you because they lost respect for you because they could do something like that in the first place. Bounce. And now you understand why it is that I always close out with Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for listening. Black Heart, Black Mind, Blackout. And you understand why I always say black heterosexual non-select male power just because they don't like it, and black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day.